So good morning. Today is November 30th. Nice to see so many of you on Zoom. We got 3 people to show up here in class. Let me guess. This is Sam. So Rithvik, I'm talking to you right now. It's Sam, Hannah, and Kira. Perfect. Great. So please mark them down as being here. Everybody else I think you can see on Zoom. And what we're going to do today is we're going to, let me share my screen. Here's our class website. And our class website we have a whole bunch of PowerPoint files, and under PowerPoint files, we're going to do number 22, experiments. We're getting pretty close to the end here. We only have 2 weeks left, so hopefully we'll do 22 today, and then we'll probably finish on Wednesday 22. And then we'll have a chance on Wednesday to start 23, the experiments and case studies. Then we'll do probability models, maybe a little alpha, beta, and VLOOKUP, and that'll be pretty much it for the course. Wow, just 2 weeks left. So I sent many of you, well, hopefully I sent all of you, but not all of you read your email. I sent many of you an email early this morning that says there's 4 things to think about between now and the end of the semester. Number 1, problem set 6 is now up online. Problem set 5, hopefully all the grades are up and that you can see what you did. If you didn't do as well, the teaching assistants are supposed to email you back. If you did really well, if you got 100 or a 98 or something like that, they're not going to bother emailing it back. No real sense having them waste time emailing back a perfect homework score. But if you didn't get in the high 90s and they didn't email it back, just send Rithvik a quick email and I'm sure he will be quickly able to zap you over your graded homework problem. So homework number 6 is due, and when's it due? 6 o'clock on the last class. Last class is Thursday, December 10th. It's the last day of classes. Second thing is there's an advanced Excel quiz. There was a basic quiz before the midterm, and for the final exam, there's a series of advanced Excel videos. It covers things like if statements and ors, correlation, graphing, things like that. And that quiz is also due December 10th at 6 o'clock. I would say about a third of the class has already done the exam, that advanced Excel quiz, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you're in the 2/3 that hasn't done the advanced Excel quiz, watch the videos. Why? Because those things will be both on the final exam, some of the questions from those videos, and it will be on the exam of life. You're expected, when you leave Questrom with a business degree, to be proficient in Excel. You don't have to be the top whiz in your company, but you're supposed to be able to, handle some basic things. And hopefully by doing the advanced and basic videos, you'll be able to handle both. Number 3, project part B is due this Wednesday, 6 o'clock. One way to submit it, pretty straightforward. Hopefully you can all still see the class website right now. You just go into the Dropbox and find your name. It should come up automatically, and then drop files. Right now I don't see any file. Denise has dropped some files in there, but other than that, I don't see anybody else. Oh, Ashley has also dropped files. Great. It would help me greatly if each team only drops 1 PowerPoint. So if you work on your team, feel free to drop your, or not feel free, but please drop your Excel file under you. But if each member of the team puts the same PowerPoint or the same PDF file or the same Word file, it takes me a long time to figure out which is the master and which ones I get to delete. So hopefully each team only puts 1 person has a PDF or a Word or a PowerPoint, and everybody else just has Excel files. All right. Any questions about project part B? Anybody online? Questions about project part B? Pretty straightforward. Guncha.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, do we have to submit Excel files separately, or do we just submit like as a group 1 Excel file and 1 final product of the presentation of project?
Some groups, 1 Excel file, 1 PowerPoint, and others, individuals. It really depends how your group worked. If your
Okay,
group
yeah.
worked on a single Excel file, there's no reason for you to spend hours splitting it apart into, 4 pieces. Conversely, if each of you worked on different parts and you have 4 or 5 Excel files, then just submit 4 or 5 Excel files.
Got it. Thank you.
Anybody else? And last but not least is the final exam. The final exam officially is Tuesday night, December 15th. I believe it's 6 o'clock. But there is also a AC Accounting 221 exam held at the exact same time, and there's a large overlap in this class between people taking AC 221 and people taking QM 222. So there's right now about 70 of you who are taking it on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. These are all Boston times. So depending where you are in the world, you're going to have to adjust. If you want to take the exam on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. for whatever reason, you're in a different time zone, you don't really want to take an exam at 2 a.m., your time zone, you're having a conflict with AC 221, or for whatever reason, just send me an email and I will put you on the morning list. But it's important that you're either on the Tuesday night list or on the Wednesday list. If you do nothing, you're automatically on the Tuesday list. All right, so if you do nothing, you're automatically on the Tuesday list. If you want to get on the Wednesday morning list so the computer knows who you are, you need to be there. So any last questions or administrative things before we start today's lecture? Ayush.
So I just had a quick question about the URO. So when would that be due? Would that be due the last day of classes, so December 10th, or at a later date?
You were supposed to sign up, and they had particular slots for you to participate. Like, they've been running them like every Friday afternoon for the entire semester. So they were bringing groups of people in on Zoom, I don't know, 15, 20 people at a time every week. What time is the Wednesday morning test? 9 a.m. Thank you, Nicole. We'll talk offline, Ayush, about the URL. Is there going to be Power Excel videos? There will be questions from the, yes, the very first Learning to Excel video said there will be a third set of videos called Power User. Let me say that this Learning from Anywhere has taken up 100% of my time, even more, and I did not get to create the Power videos. I hang my head in shame, but I decided my own sanity was worth it to not create the Power videos. We will spend a little bit of time between now and the end of the semester doing some of the Power videos. In particular, the Power video I was trying to create was V and H lookup, and V and H lookup hopefully will happen next Monday. It's one of the key Power tips. Any other questions that I missed? All right, let me open up slideshow number 22, which is called Experiments. Oh, and if you do have any other questions and you want to talk more, less, in front of 40 people or something like that, I have office hours today after class. Well, all right. After class, the university wants all professors to be tested multiple times this week. So normally I don't get tested for coronavirus on Mondays, but I have to run over, get tested for coronavirus. My guess, if there's no line, is I'll be back online at 11:30 on this website. Sorry, on this Zoom site. Okay. So as soon as I get tested, I'm back online to answer your questions. So we're going to talk today about experiments. Businesses now run a lot of experiments, and my goal over the next few days is to convince you that when you have the ability to run an experiment, do it. Experiments are cheap and provide some amazing ways of boosting profits, or in your own organization, boosting your own visibility. And there's really two different types of experiments that businesses run a lot. One, there are pricing experiments, and second, there are marketing experiments. On the next couple of slides, let me give you some examples of pricing experiments. One of the very earliest pricing experiments was run by Amazon, and this came out in September of 2000. So 20 years ago, this was one of the very first pricing experiments run online. And the reason why companies have started doing experiments online is that when there were stores, it was very hard to run pricing experiments. What do I mean? The idea of a pricing experiment is, right now I'm looking at Hannah and Sam, who are sitting in front of me. What I want to do is I want to offer Hannah one price and Sam another price. Totally random. Hannah's like the first person who walks in the door, she gets one price. Sam's the second person who walks in the door, he gets a second price. And to see if price, holding everything else constant, matters. In the bricks and mortar world pre-2000, it was very hard to give Hannah, who walked through the door of a store, one price and Sam a different price. And Sam would be like, what? Why does she get a different price? I don't understand what's going on here. But with the internet, not only are you pretty much anonymous, but you don't know what the price other people are getting. So let me read a couple of paragraphs out of this story. Amazon has been charging customers different prices for the same products in its online video store, and a marketing test, actually a pricing test, that has irked some users. The internet merchant said it recently began charging customers different prices for the same DVD titles. Remember what DVDs were? And these little discs you stuck in? Yeah, exactly. For example, the company has charged some users $24 and others $26 for the DVD version Men in Black. Patty Smith, Amazon spokesman, said the different prices were part of a test Amazon's conducting to measure what impacts a customer's decision to purchase or not purchase on the site. Amazon customers are selected randomly, and the prices they receive aren't based on any other characteristics. Internet chat groups are really upset. They go talk to some lawyer in San Francisco, and the lawyer says, they're okay, as long as they just randomly assign people. What's the whole idea here? They know who's looking at Men in Black or any other DVD title, and they're trying to figure out if they charge $24 or $26, a difference of $2, is there any difference on a person's ability to click buy? If almost everybody who looks at it at $26 buys, the same percentage buys as at $24, Amazon can raise the price, earn $2 extra without doing any extra work, and all they had to do was run a quick experiment. Conversely, at $24, if like half of the people buy the video, and at $26, only a quarter buy the video, whoa, Amazon's like, they're very price sensitive, all right? And because they're very price sensitive, it's not a good idea for us to boost the price by an extra $2. So by doing these experiments on a small group of people, Amazon can figure out, is this profitable or not profitable to do? What is the optimal price to charge? Have the companies been doing it since 2000? Oh, yes. Here's an example. Hang on, give me 1 second. The date on this one is December 2012. It's the same swing line stapler on the same staples.com website, but for Kim Warble, the price is $16, while the price for Trudy Frizzle's screen a few miles away is $14.29, a difference of $1.50. Whoa. How many of you read The Magic School Bus when you were growing up? Yes, there really is a Miss Frizzle here in the real world. I just thought it was totally made up. The difference, where Staples thinks they're physically located, all right? Wall Street Journal investigation found Staples' website displays different prices to people after estimating their locations. More importantly, Staples offers different prices depending on their distance from a brick and mortar store. If you're really close to a brick and mortar store, especially a brick and mortar store for the competition, you get the low price. If you're far from any brick and mortar store, or especially far from a brick and mortar store that's a competitor, you get the high price. Wow. It appears an unintended side effect is a change in retail competition. Last one. Can't trust you're getting a better price online. Once this is from 2014, so 14 years after Amazon started this whole trend, right? Basically, the web's full of personalized content, and you get personalized prices. Now, I don't want to disappoint anybody online, but the webs right now offers different prices depending on the type of computer you own. There are primarily two different types of computers out there. There are Well, there's actually three. There's Android machines running Google's operating system. There's PCs running Microsoft's operating systems. And there's Apple computers running the variety of Apple operating systems. Who gets the highest price? Anybody? Apple. If they detect that you're running, especially on like a MacBook Pro or something like that, they put out a higher price. Thank you, Sam. Anybody have any idea why Mac users get higher prices than people like me using PCs? Anybody online before I go to Kira? Moran.
So the average Mac price is a little higher than Android laptops.
Yep. Android machines are really cheap. So people who are really price sensitive, what do? They buy cheap machines. And people who are not price sensitive, what do? They buy Apple products. And marketers assume that if you're not so price sensitive to buy a computer, you're not going to be so price sensitive buying other products. And that has actually worked out rather well for people in pricing. So you're getting all these experiments that have tried to figure out custom prices for you. Not what's the best price you can find, but instead, what is the best price you'll pay? A couple of simple ways of defeating this. Number one, clear your cache, clear your cookies every time you go to Google, anytime you go to do online shopping. They check. How often have you been shopping? Are you doing comparisons, things like that? Are you a brand new customer? And if you don't have an Apple product, or for example, you have an Apple laptop, but you have an Android phone, use the phone to do the search. Put it in your basket and then switch over to Apple products once it's in the basket at a particular price. All right. How do you do experiments? You do experiments with randomized controlled trials. And doing randomized controlled trials are important because of the simple idea of correlation versus causation. Sometimes you get results and you say, oh, those results, this causes this. But that might not be true. Right now, we're in the middle, for those of you watching this video years from now, right now we're in the middle of a COVID epidemic. And hopefully today, the very first vaccine will be approved by the FDA here in the United States. It's uncertain when it will be approved, but their headlines this morning, just before class, was that the Moderna Pharmaceuticals was going to apply to the FDA. Moderna needed to run a random trial. What's the idea of a random trial? They gave the vaccine to a large number of people, but half the people got salt water injected into their veins, and half the people got the actual vaccine. And nobody knows which they got. Either they got injected with the vaccine or they got injected with salt water. Why salt water? Because salt water causes a little bit of stinging. Have you ever had a cut and jumped in the beach, into the water at the beach, and you're going, ow, ooh, that hurts? No? Yes? None of you have ever gone to the beach. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Raphael's like, yeah, I've been to the beach. Right, so salt water causes stinging, so if I inject you with salt water, you're gonna be like, oh, my shoulder hurts. I must have gotten the real vaccine, okay? If we just inject you with a benign substance, you're like, ah, feels fine. Why don't they just say who wants the vaccine and test everybody who just follow people who just say who wants the vaccine? Why do we actually have to have these people injected with salt water? Raphael and then Ashley.
Because it eliminates like kind of like I forget the exact term, but kind of like people's response, like bias in like the way people would act if they had a vaccine. If they knew they had the vaccine, they would be less careful.
That's really the key idea, Raphael. Ashley, you have something to say before I jump back on Raphael's point?
No, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. So if I get the vaccine 2 months ago, I might not wear a mask. I might be very different. I might change my habits because I'm like, yeah, I got protected by the vaccine. And we want to make sure that the vaccine is actually causing a reduction, not that there's a correlation between people who get the vaccine and they don't get it. So in order to do causation, we need to do a randomized control experiment. And the idea of a randomized control experiment is the subject doesn't know whether they got the treatment, and the person giving it doesn't know if they're giving the treatment. That way, I don't say, you got the real thing, you know. I have no idea, you have no idea. So causality, the outcome, why, does the vaccine work, depends on a completely exogenous change in the X, the treatment, right? And in a perfect world, we don't just randomly give things to people. It's not like Hannah gets the vaccine and Sam doesn't. Instead, we clone Hannah and we clone Sam, and we give one of their clones the vaccine and one doesn't get the vaccine. And then we ask them to do the exact same things over and over again. The problem is that we cannot clone Hannah and Sam at the present time. And even if we could physically, we have cloned things like Dolly the sheep. I don't know how many of you have heard about cloning. No, yes, whatever. We can clone mammals, but the question is ethically, do we really want two Jay-Z's in the world? I would say probably not. My wife constantly tells me one of me is more than enough, all right? So in an ideal world, we clone people. So this is from The Simpsons. I don't know how many of you have seen The Simpsons, okay? And what we would like to do, this slide is actually talking about giving Lisa more education. If we give Lisa books to read versus not giving Lisa books to read, what actually happens to her test scores? And what we'd really love to do is figure out what's the impact of giving books to Lisa versus not giving books to Lisa. The problem is that once we give books to Lisa, we've contaminated her mind. We've educated her. She becomes smarter because of what she reads in the books. So it's very hard to compare Lisa with and without books without cloning her. So that's the problem. It's called we treat Lisa. And once we've treated her, or to use the coronavirus idea, instead of giving her books, once we've given her the vaccine, we can't take the vaccine away. Once her system says, I start developing antibodies, I can't remove the antibodies from her system. So to figure it out, we need a comparison group that's really similar to Lisa. And the easiest comparison group is something called sibling comparison group, because siblings often grow up in the exact same environment. They have the same nutrition, they live in the same kind of house and things like that. The problem with sibling comparisons is that many siblings are very different. And the example here is Bart Simpson versus Lisa. Bart is very different. You ever seen The Simpsons? No? Doesn't matter. Whether you have or haven't. Sometimes there's two siblings and they're wildly different, even though they're relatively close in ages. They have the exact same mother and father, right? And giving Bart books versus giving Lisa books will result in very differences. There is a slight way that many researchers try and get around this, and it's called twin studies. So we look for identical twins, and we try and figure out what's the difference. We give one twin some kind of treatment, the other twin acts as a control. How many of you have met identical twins or are an identical twin? Are there differences between identical twins, Ashley? Yeah, so Ashley said, yep. So even that, even when we have identical twins who look to the uninitiated, like, I don't know which is which, okay? Once you get to know them, they have different personalities, they act differently. So even that, it's very hard to do controlled studies. The second problem is there aren't that many identical twins running around that want to get involved in all kinds of different experiments. There are a number of twins. There actually is in the United States an annual, well, before COVID, there used to be an annual convention of twins and triplets. And a lot of researchers would go flocking there and provide, incentives. Would you sign up for our study? But, people do 1 or 2 studies a year, and that's more than enough. These twins don't want to spend their entire life in various experiments. Okay? So the problem is when people volunteer for experiments, it's never random. For those of you who read the newspapers, the New York Times ran a study, The New York Times ran a story about the coronavirus vaccines, and they interviewed a couple of people, and those people said, oh, I did an antibody test and I know whether I got the vaccine or not, right? And there was one person in New York, he was actually a doctor, and he said, yeah, I got an antibody test. It's clear I got the placebo. And the moment the vaccine comes out, I am not going to participate in this study anymore. I'm going to go get the vaccine because I want antibodies. I work in a hospital. I don't have time to be sick. Well, even though we do these trials blind, it is possible for people to uncover which group they're in. So what we try and do, even though we have all these problems with experiments, is we try and do randomization, all right? And the idea of randomization is that we check to make sure the people we randomly selected are different. How do we do that? I'm going to show you in a few slides, but the big idea is called create a balance table. What's a balance table? Balance table is a simple idea that the people in the control group and the people in the treatment group are balanced. They're the same. They have the same characteristics. That it's not like the treated group are sicker or have a higher chance of getting COVID, and the untreated group is regular. So the idea of a balance table is you need to check to make sure the two groups, the treated group and the non-treated group, are balanced. How we do that? It's part of, I'll tell you exactly in a few slides, but it's part of omitted variable. It's part of the omitted variable bias, and you're looking at the background regressions. The background regressions create the balance table. You're looking at the background regressions coefficients, and if they're all small and close to zero, then you know you have a balance. So I'm going to send you off into breakout rooms in a couple of minutes, all right? And we're going to talk about an experiment actually run back in 2007-8 when Barack Obama was running for president. So the guy on the right with the blue background and the blue shirt and the big smile, his name is, let's see, Dan Siriker. Sorry, Dan, for killing your name, okay? And he worked at Google trying to run tests. I don't know how many of you noticed there's all these Google ads whenever you type Google. And those Google ads are like 5 or 6 words. Well, companies spend millions of dollars for those 5 or 6 words. So Google actually has an entire division that tests out various 5 or 6 words. Maybe it's 7 words, maybe it's 5 words, maybe it's 8 words. And I know this because my niece is one of the heads of this division at Google. And she and her team test out, they run all these experiments, or her team did. She's since been moved to another division. But she ran all these experiments on, is it these 8 words are the right words? Are these 7 words? Which is better? 7 words, 8 words? Is this the right word or not? And they can see that by the amount of time you click on an ad. So if running a 5-word ad versus an 8-word ad gets more clicks, the 5-word ad is more effective. Anyways, his job was to take these ideas that he learned at Google and apply them to Barack Obama's presidential campaign. Simple experiment. So there are 4 different buttons. What's a button? A button is these things right here, where when you click on a button, some action happens. And there were 6 different medias, 3 images and 3 videos. So there was a total of 24 combinations. And every visitor to the website was given one of these randomly, one of these 24 combinations. So you didn't know exactly which one you went. And they saw the sign-up rate. The sign-up rate was number of people who left their email address and said, yeah, I want to be part of Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign. They did this on 310,000 visitors. I think it was a 1.5-week trial, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. But it was not forever. And then they stopped the experiment, and whichever button was best and whichever video or image was best, that was the one they picked. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the 4 buttons. You might want to take a screenshot of this or not. I can't tell you. I haven't figured out how to do this on Zoom yet. So they had 4 different choices. Join us now, learn more, sign up now, sign up. And then they had 6 different, basically what you saw on the screen. There's a Barack Obama here popping up sort of like, I don't know. Forgive me, Barack Obama. I've always thought of this as the mushroom. So he's in the ground and the mushroom sort of popping up, or maybe it's the, you know, the sprout. The family picture, the kids all hanging on his back, all lovey-dovey. The Mount Rushmore style picture. I don't know if you've ever seen Mount Rushmore. You know, it's sort of like the man chiseled in the background. This is sort of the office picture. The straight old American flag, patriotism. And then here is sort of the multi-ethnic image. Barack Obama speaking to a group of people who represent all different types of Americans. So I'm going to send you off to the breakout room. And your job for each breakout room is real simple. The breakout room is going to say, we like, I don't know, we like learn more and we like the family picture. Or we like sign up, and we like the Mount Rushmore picture. Hang on. Mount Rushmore picture. All right, that's it. If you have some extra time in your breakout room, come up with the reasons why you picked. So what is your vote for the image? What is your vote for the button? Pretty straightforward. Any questions? Okay, breakout rooms. Please remember your breakout room and assign someone to answer the question. See you in about 3 or 4 minutes. Rithvik, can you send a chat to Matt Hall and tell him it is cumulative?
Yeah, sure.
It was like 2 chats earlier. Thanks.
Yep, no problem.
Or actually send it to everybody since I think he asked.
Yeah.
Excellent job, Sam. All right, so we think we have an answer, so I should tell the breakout rooms to come on back. Yeah, is that what I'm hearing? Oh, we haven't discussed the second one. All right, then we'll let the. Oh, well, I use you as my sort of canaries. Give them a 1 minute. Come on back. Yeah, give everybody a 1 minute. Come on back. Right there. All right, for those of you while we're waiting for the next 30 seconds for everyone to come back, the choices are 4 different buttons. Join us now, learn more, sign up now, and sign up. Which buttons did you like? And 6 different sort of images on the landing page. The mushroom picture, forgive me for saying so, Barack Obama sort of rising up from the ground. The family picture, the Mount Rushmore picture, the office picture, the American flag patriotism picture, and then sort of the multi-ethnic picture. And the breakout room's closing in 1 second. And how about room 1, which is Annika, Caitlin, Filippo, Jinchen, Kaylee, and Denise?
Yeah, we chose the join us now for the button and the first picture, like the mushroom picture for the picture.
Okay. Any reasons why?
So the other one we liked a lot was the family one, but then we sort of said that maybe as a political campaign, having like a family picture maybe wasn't the most important or appropriate thing to do. So we ended up choosing the other one.
Great. Room 2, Ashley, Christopher, Joel, Kate, Kenzie, and Priyanshi.
My group thought that the learn more button was good just because people are signing up to learn more about the campaign and maybe don't know that much already. And then we thought that the family picture went well, just because it shows that he's a father figure and standing up for America in that way.
Okay, great. Room 3, Dakan, Henry, Michaela, Raphael, Rishant, Ritvik isn't part of it. Sorry.
Yeah, we went with sign up and the family picture. The family picture because it kind of makes him more relatable and kind of like shows that he's there for like families and stuff. So it kind of grabs your attention a little more. And then the sign up because it's just 2 words. It gets to the point and it's not kind of trying to force you to do it now or anything. It's just saying, it's just very simple.
Great. Room 4, Ali, Gunsha, Ishani, Kevin, Sangwoo.
Yeah, so we picked the sign up button and then the Mount Rushmore picture. We specifically picked the Mount Rushmore picture because it's him standing under like the word change. So it's like he represents change, and it just seems like a very like strong picture, I guess. And then we picked the sign up button because it didn't really seem like that seemed like the only one that didn't have like a direct obligation, like learn more or like sign up now. So it kind of just like, it's kind of like more casual. And I feel like for maybe a more lazy consumer, it's an easier step.
Okay, thank you. See, room 5, Stephen, Darren, Elizabeth, Moran.
We also picked the sign up and then like the Mount Rushmore photo. And like we liked the photo because it was very powerful, and also like Barack Obama was the first Black president, so it's like this, I don't know, like him with the other very historical presidents.
Okay, room 6, thank you. Ayush, Isabella, Matt, Nicole.
So we thought that it was the learn more button, and then I specifically thought it was the third picture with the quote because we thought that the people that are coming to the website already have they already are in the campaign. They just want to learn more. But we actually had differing thoughts, so Serendi's going to touch upon one other one.
So I thought that we should do the join us button because it creates like a sense of community. Like you're not just saying, oh, sign up or learn more, like you want to join the campaign. And then I said the family photo because I think that people see enough of like the political propaganda, and it's nice to have like a personable family touch. And like when a family enters the White House, you kind of like associate with them. So I thought those two things.
Perfect, perfect. We're going to stop there, room 7, and the people in class, we don't have to go on because that was the exact point I was hoping for. What we just saw, for those of you listening, Ayush said, oh, these are my reasons I really like this button. These are my reasons I like these particular pictures. Serenity had just as good reasons, right? This is my feelings. This is mine. These exact situations play out in conference rooms around the United States and around the world every single minute of every day. People sit there very pleasantly. Serenity says, this is the reasons why I vote for this picture, and this is my button. Ayush says, no, I'm really, this is really my goal. This is my picture. And what I would like to say for all of you, if we were to take away 2 sentences, is what we just did is completely wrong. Please never, ever do this in your company. What? Yes. What I am trying to tell you, and what this guy, Dan, whose last name I just killed, Soroka, is trying to tell you is, do not have these meetings. Instead, randomly assign people the images and pictures and let the audience tell you what's best. Because you will become very passionate. Oh, I really like the family picture. No, I really like the Mount Rushmore picture. Change is important. Oh, no, family is important. Oh, patriotism. What you feel does not matter. What you feel does not matter. What works is what matters. And what happened was, in real life, they had sign up. That was the original one that the campaign did. They used the mushroom picture. Dan came around and said, you guys, maybe you like it. Maybe you're all very passionate about the mushroom picture and sign up. Let's run the experiment. I don't really care. As long as it brings in more viewers, that's all I care about. And what was the results? The results can be seen on this page. And what they found was, compared to the original, which was sign up, I'm sorry, go away, please. Compared to the original, which was sign up, that sign up now actually decreased responses by 2.5%. And you can make up any kind of story, but you don't need to. All you need to know is that sign up now made things worse. Join us now was almost no different than sign up, but learn more, a big boost. It got about 1/5 more people to actually click the button, learn more. It's not about your feelings, it's what works. The original image, the mushroom image, compared to that, the family image got 13% more people to click on a button. The change image, which was the Mount Rushmore one, got about 4% more people. And the 3 videos down the bottom all reduced things, including the American flag video, which is called Sam's video, caused 26% less, and that multi-ethnic one in the bottom right corner caused a drop in almost 30%. The winner, the family video would learn more. And what was the result? The original combination that everybody passionately sat in the conference room and said, oh, I like this, and they came to a consensus, got almost 12% of all people who saw that to click and sign up and give them the email. When this guy from Google came in and said, I don't really care what wins, as long as something wins, they were able, the original page got 8.3%, and they were able to boost it to 11.6%, almost 12%. They got almost 3 million extra email addresses. The typical person, 10% of them became volunteers, and the average person who gave an email address donated $21. They got $60 million in more campaign donations by hiring this person, and they got an extra $250,000 volunteers to go knocking on doors, putting signs out, standing on street corners going, ah, Barack Obama, okay? What I'm saying, and let me say it a third time, do not sit in conference rooms saying, I like this, I like that. Just run the experiment and let your audience tell you what works for them. Because your team sitting there in that conference room might think they have the pulse of your customer base, but you probably don't. Can I be any clearer? No? Does that make sense? Questions?
Professor, we can't see the slides.
Oh, I'm sorry, brat. All right, let's go back and do that the last couple of minutes again. Sorry, forgive me. I hate Zoom sometimes. The original button was sign up. And the original video was can you see the slides now?
Yes.
Was the mushroom picture. That was what the staff really liked. This guy, Dan said, who cares what you like? Let me just try a bunch of things and we'll have the audience tell us what we like. The original button, sign up now, lowered response rates by about 2%. Join us now, boosted about 1%, but learn more, boosted it by about 19%. I don't know if you can see that now. Yes? And compared, the family image boosted things by 13%. The change video boosted things by about 4%. But the three videos down below, the patriotic one, the multi-ethnic one, things like that, they all dramatically reduced viewership and people clicking through. This was the winner. And the key numbers were, original rate was 8.3%. They were able to boost it by just changing the images and changing the button to 11.6%, 12%. In simple words, it cost the campaign almost nothing. All the campaign had to do was listen to their customers, and they were able to boost dramatically. What did they boost? They got about $60 million more in donations, and they got an extra $250,000 of volunteers. And all they did was change the image and change the words on a button. Words matter. So what if they didn't run the experiment? They didn't run the experiment, they'd be $60 million cheaper. $60 million poorer. So with that, I have 30 seconds left. So let me ask, did I convince you? Run an experiment. Don't ask feelings. So let me say thank you very much. It's 11 o'clock. I look forward to seeing all of you on Wednesday where we'll pick up experiments. We'll actually do experiments in human resources next time. We'll talk about that, and experiments in hiring. And I'll be online for open office hours as soon as I get tested for coronavirus.
Professor, is there any time that you could meet other than 11:30 today? My whole entire group has class during that time. We would really like to meet with you.
Send me an email. I'm home Boston time, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night tonight.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, all those slots I think are open.
Professor, I looked in I don't know if this is like this for everyone, but my problem set 5 grade isn't out.
This grade isn't out? Really? Did anyone else see their problem set 5 grade? I'm pretty sure I typed all of them in.
Mine isn't either.
No?
Mine is either.
Huh. Can any of you see problem set 5 grades? Then I typed them all in, but I forgot to hit the release button. I will hit the release button as soon as I get back to my office after being tested for COVID.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Professor, oh wait, Kevin, you can go first.